Recorded Books presents Livesuit, a captive's war novella by James S. A. Corey, narrated by Jefferson Mays. Kieran thought of the structure he had come to destroy as a bridge because it vaguely looked like one. It had ends on either bank of what seemed to be a river. It had stanchions that sank down into the turgid flow of the liquid below and held it up. His brain continued to insist this meant it was a bridge. Kieran knew that the river was bromine and long-chain hydrocarbons, and the stanchions were built of chitin. The things that used it didn't travel across its top, but budded, grew, lived, and shriveled to death in place, like sponges in a tide pool. But in the thousands of systems where life had solved the complex problem of defying entropy, there were only so many shapes. Sometimes weird shit was going to look familiar. An enemy alien was going to look like a tree, or a vulva, or a bird, because there were too many things and not enough room in design space for all of them. So, bridge. Maybe the wars were about that as much as anything. Who got to keep what shapes? Who got to define what they meant? His suit squeezed his wrist to get his attention and put up a mission change notification. The augmented reality of his heads-up display stopped highlighting the base of the bridge nearest his team, and the gentle glow jumped to a stanchion in the flow. "Acknowledge change of target," Corval said on the group channel. Kieran said acknowledged at the same time all the others on the strike team did, their voices blending into a single sound that the suit parsed for him, their names going from yellow to green on his display. All of them except Pyotr, who sent his in the text channel. He didn't speak aloud anymore, and hadn't for months. Corval's suit sent the replies to command and control, so they didn't try to assign any of the other groups the same target while the team reassessed how to get the charges where they needed to be. They hadn't been planning to go deep enough into the red-brown river that they'd have to do more than wade. "Want me to send the mosquitoes out?" Gleaner asked. "Get a better look?" "Not yet," Corval said, and a moment later his heads-up announced a swirl of enemy insects floating from the top of the bridge like a tendril of smoke. Gleaner grunted. "Good call. Some days you're lucky," Corval said, but they all knew it was more than that. "Group 1 is me, Pyotr, and Noor. Kieran, you're Group 2 lead. Take Gleaner and Ross with you. We'll cover you. Sing out if you see any bugs." The chorus of acknowledgments followed, and the one in text from Pyotr. Kieran slung the explosive belt over his shoulder and moved toward the river's edge. The micro-drones, mosquitoes, might have been able to swim to map still water, liquid, whatever, but Kieran didn't think they could handle the flow. The ground crackled and gave under his feet like a memory of snow. When he reached the river, he knelt and put a hand into its oily darkness. The glove thumped twice, like his palm being tapped by a soft hammer. Half a second later, his suit laid an image of the riverbed over the dark, rippling surface. There were shadows, holes in the map where the sonar return hadn't been strong enough to be sure what it was seeing. Kieran traced a path to the target, moving from shallow to shallow, sandbar to sandbar. He didn't know how soft the riverbed would be, but they didn't have a raft, and he didn't have time to improvise something. He marked the path, sent it to Gleaner and Ross, and stepped in. The flow felt wrong, simultaneously too light and somehow
Sample complete. Ready to continue?